minutes.
In the first 20 minutes, Manchester United matched them and were looking like the better side. And that was very surprising for me to see, considering the fact that they were playing in the Allianz Arena, right? Manchester United obviously have a psychological problem. All those players have a psychological issue at them. Like, there's something mental going on with those players, because you could see the immediate drop in form from the moment it was 20th minute. The players just started to sit back. They stopped attacking. And Bayern Munich themselves, over the course of 90 minutes, did not look like they were going to blow Manchester United away. Even when they were scoring those goals, even when they were 2 goals ahead, they didn't look like they were blowing Manchester United away. Their midfield and their defense didn't look exceptional. Those goals that Manchester United scored ordinarily wouldn't have gone in.
Your boys are back on Shangalo. Arsenal are back in the big leagues and they're doing the business.
I mean,
how are you feeling?
Arsenal are cooking at the moment. I'm feeling cold, right? Because Manchester United, there's no love there, man. It's harsh.
It's raining and pouring in Manchester like Lagos, man.
It's pouring, raining and pouring heavy, man. But yeah, Arsenal are doing excellently, The first time in how many years?
6 years.
6 years that the UEFA Champions League anthem will be played at the Emirates. It was a monumental moment for their fans, monumental moment for the team, and it just goes to show the progress that they've made since Arsene Wenger left. Yeah, it has been a slow and steady road, and all massive props to them.
Yeah, it's great to see them in the Champions League, and on a night like yesterday, speaking to Arsenal fans and all that, you see why people say like qualifying for the Champions League is like on a night like the day before. You see why Arsenal fans will say like qualifying for the Champions League is like winning a trophy, because that feeling you don't get the moment of lifting the trophy, but that feeling of hearing the anthem, it was emotional. You can see it on the players' faces, and for the party to get started as quickly as it did by none other than Bukayo Saka, the star boy. They could have dreamt it better. 8 minutes into the game, they're off the mark. It was.
And it's just testament to show how far they've come, honestly. And that's just really all that there is to it. And it's the reason why, I'm sorry that I'm bringing Manchester United back into this.
I mean, we're about to get to Manchester United.
It's the reason why I feel like all the shout and clamor for, Ten Hag to really perform is a bit premature, yeah? This Arsenal side is a product of 3-4 good years under Arteta, and how many years even before Arteta, right? The process has been painstakingly slow, in fact. So all what we're seeing now is just that patience that has paid off. Arteta could have been sacked in his second season. He was woeful, in his first season. I think his second season, he now won that FA Cup title or something. So it's just that patience that has paid off for them.
Since
and built their squad
you've got
to this
to
point,
Man U,
and they're great.
Let's actually just address the Man U situation, because United also played this midweek. Was a fixture that I guess we all expected United to lose yet again, and that happened again. But it was a very weird game, because when you look at the scoreline, you could gloss over it and say, away to Munich 4-3 is not a bad result. But I feel watching that game, United didn't really seem close to Bayern Munich at any point. And I feel like every time United scored to make the scoreline look okay, Bayern just scored again to show that there's actually a golfing class here.
I feel like it's unfair to say golfing class and Manchester United didn't seem close to Bayern Munich.
Okay, to be fair, in the first 15 minutes,
in the first 20 minutes, Manchester United matched them and were looking like the better side, and that was very surprising for me to see, considering the fact that they were playing in the Allianz Arena, right? Manchester United obviously have a psychological problem. All those players have a psychological issue at them. Like, there's something mental going on with those players, because you could see the immediate drop in form from the moment it was 20th minute. The players just started to sit back. They stopped attacking, and Bayern Munich themselves, over the course of 90 minutes, did not look like they were going to blow Manchester United away. Even when they were scoring those goals, even when they were 2 goals ahead, they didn't look like they were blowing Manchester United away. Their midfield and their defense didn't look exceptional. Those goals that Manchester United scored ordinarily wouldn't have gone in.
Yeah,
ordinarily shouldn't have gone in.
Bayern are not a great side.
Bayern Munich did not look great. They were not like the swashbucklingly good Bayern Munich that we know. So it was closer than I expected. And even the scoreline went to prove it, right? 4-3 at the end of the day. Manchester United will definitely take massive confidence from having gone there and shown the kind of grit that they showed. But there's still that issue of Manchester United scoring and being pegged back immediately.
And conceding a lot of goals. I feel like in the last few games, conceding more than 3 goals has become a trend in Manchester United. So there are questions at the back line, and even if we didn't want to talk about Onana before, he's put himself right there in the headlines, and that's what you don't want as a goalkeeper. You want to go about your business quietly, nothing happening, and like you mentioned, the game did change at a certain point. And what responsibility do you have on Onana? Are you worried about Onana? Because I feel like his shot stopping has been flagged quite a bit this season, and there have been a few moments. There was the Brighton goal where it looked like he should have done better. How are we feeling about Onana in terms of actually shot stopping?
In terms of shot stopping,
because I saw some jokes that people said Ten Hag is playing him out of position. I was dying.
To be honest, in terms of shot stopping, I would say that anybody who thought Onana was going to be better than De Gea was deceiving
Not
themselves.
better than De Gea.
Fact.
This soon,
De Gea is miles apart from many other keepers in terms of shot stopping. So it was definitely going to be a big gap to fill. Yeah, it was always going to show, right? So Onana and his ball playing ability has definitely come into play and helped us with our build-up play. We were better, or we have been better with our build-up play. Our defense is more confident with building up from the back, and so that's good. But in terms of his shot stopping, he has been facing too many shots, and that's sort of like what has.
Yeah, I think we'll delve into this, but yeah, the type of goals United have
he has been facing too many shots that ordinarily he shouldn't be facing, at that level, and that has just sort of, exposed him. But he is definitely to blame for the first goal that he conceded, against Bayern Munich, right? He should have stopped. He had no business allowing that ball go in. Yeah, so he does have his shortfalls, but I'll still stick with him. I feel like once we get Amrabat into the fold and we have a defensive midfielder that covers the centre backs, much better than Casemiro and Eriksen are doing, then I feel like we can build on from that.
All right, still on the Champions League, there were a few other big games. Newcastle back in the Champions League as well. We said Arsenal 6 years is a long time. Newcastle is about 20 years for them. And a decent result, going to AC Milan, a big historic ground, and holding their own 0-0. Decent result there. They didn't really look like they were going to score at any point, but Eddie Howe definitely take that result.
Most definitely.
Still in Champions League, Manchester City against Red Star Belgrade. We knew how that was going to end. It ended as we expected, 3-1 to the champions.
But I don't think anybody expected Red Star Belgrade to have gone 1-0 ahead.
Yeah, but you knew City were going to win that match. Even when they were 1-0 ahead, you knew they were going to win. Yeah. Haaland looking a bit wasteful. I don't know if you're seeing that, but that's happening
Haaland
as well.
is starting to look saucy.
Yeah, the biggest game, what I thought, well, not the biggest, the second biggest tie of the round, PSG versus Borussia Dortmund. Yeah. PSG did the business there. Mbappe on the score sheet with a penalty. And so Barcelona, I feel like Barcelona is an interesting side to look at in Europe. I think they had a great season last year, but they were abysmal in Europe. So I feel like that's why Xavi hasn't really been discussed how we should have been. So yeah, to start off their Champions League campaign with a 5-0 victory, it was great to see. And the last game we mentioned was the Real Madrid-Union Berlin game. We talked about how Union Berlin are looking like a decent side and could cause problems for Real Madrid. And they did. It was only 1-0. It took it another Jude Bellingham late winner to see that through.
I mean, it just is what it is, but you'd expect the bigger sides to, just show their pedigree. It just takes that one. And
that's really what's more important at this stage in Champions League. Just getting the results, getting out of the group. You're still settling into league football as well.
That's it.
All right, still on European football, the not so glamorous European football. The lights aren't as bright down there, but the Europa League started as well, and we have a few Premier League clubs playing in there, 3 this time, since West Ham won the Conference League and will now be in the Europa League. So yeah, Liverpool played against Lask, decent result, 3-1. It was good to see Ryan Gravenberch get a start. He got an assist. Ben Doak, 17-year-old players getting minutes. So yeah, decent run out. Not much to report there. West Ham was an exciting game as well. I think that's exciting because, like you said, it was good to see Kudus.
Yeah, Mohamed Kudus. He scored, and yeah, like you said, he was instrumental in the own goal. So yeah, he's somebody that we're tipping to do exceptionally
it was a great signing for West Ham. It shows the strength of the league.
We'll see how that pans out.
And then Brighton, the other team in there, who've been great in the Premier League, but European football has proven it's a different ball game, and they've lost their first game.
It's a different ball game, and I remember telling somebody who wanted to place a bet on Brighton, and the person was going to put Brighton straight win, and I was telling the person, do not do that. Yeah, either there was probably going to be something just shaky there.
Perhaps some green pins or...
Yeah, and Brighton, it just, the lights in Europe are just, it's just different.
Even the dim Europa League brights. Because the thing is, you're playing against these teams, even though they play in leagues that you don't respect, like there's some of the best teams in these leagues, and
those
some of these
leagues.
teams don't allow 4 teams in Champions League. So this can be a team that finished second
Or,
that was in the
third.
title race.
Yeah.
So they have some pedigree about them, but you don't know them until you see them.
And this is AEK Athens that regularly plays in Europe, so they have that European pedigree. So
European games
regularly plays in Champions League and Europa League regularly, and this is Brighton's first in.
It's not a joke.
In forever, so.
All right, so moving on from European football, we're back to league football. The Premier League returns this still in Europe, obviously. The Premier League returns this weekend, and there are a couple games you could touch on. So we'll just look at the big teams in the Premier League to start. The champions go up against Nottingham Forest at home. You know what to expect. I don't know. Predicting or watching City games is one of those boring things out of the game right now, but feel free to do so in the comment section. And tell you want to give us a quick fire.
I feel like this seems like one where
they could be upset.
They would drop it. They might drop points.
All right, tell us tip in.
It could be a draw.
Perhaps Forest can do something. Elanga and Taiwawuni. Let's see how they go.
Could be a draw.
Manchester United have another away game. This is an away game to a team very low in the Premier League. You think they can use this to try and patch together that away form against ex-Manchester City baller Vincent Kompany's Burnley.
Yeah, so I already picked this one to be a draw, right? Burnley are not doing exceptionally well themselves. They've lost 4 out of 5. They've drawn only 1, and that was at home.
You look like a newly promoted team for sure.
So they are looking like a newly promoted team, and Manchester United don't seem to have their wits about them yet. So I'm still thinking, that it will be a draw, and I'm thinking there will be quite a few goals.
Quite a few goals. A high-scoring draw, perhaps. And then the game of the weekend, obviously, 2 sides coming into this unbeaten in the Premier League. As in, if that's not enough context, it's the North London derby. Yep. Arsenal versus Tottenham, one of the biggest rivalries in England. How do you see that going?
Arsenal-Tottenham has not served up this much excitement in a while, except for, for neutrals, it hasn't served up this much excitement in a while. But for them, for the fans that have, actual stakes in it, this time around, Arsenal are doing well. Tottenham are surpassing expectations so far. So in 5 games, Tottenham have done exceptionally well so far, playing beyond anybody's expectations. Ange Postecoglou seems to have, the magic touch. So yeah, it is going to be very, very interesting. Despite the fact that Arsenal will be playing at home, I do see quite a few goals in that, and I think it will end in a draw as well.
In the draw, fair enough. Decent result. I'm sure both sides. I'm sure Spurs will take that. Yeah, to take a draw. But Arsenal, if Arsenal are going to go on to win the title and push Manchester City, they have to win this game. They're going to have to win all to compete Manchester. You have to win all your home games. The whole season, to be honest. Don't drop a home game, really and truly.
And then go and
try and steal something when you go to the Etihad. Maybe a draw there, but it's not easy. Still in the Premier League, Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Chelsea are having another dire season. It's kind of strange because when you look at the raw numbers, it looks like Pochettino is getting them to play decent football, but they just can't play winning football for some reason. Can't get over the line.
Pochettino has never really been the type to come into a team and just make it happen right off the bat. Yeah, at Southampton it wasn't like that. At Tottenham it wasn't like that. At PSG he didn't even have the time to even to even go like 2-3 seasons. But yeah, it's looking like it's a slow start for him at Chelsea. It's not beyond. It's not. I'm not surprised by that. I feel like Chelsea should stick with him and just see how they progress over time.
And the last top 6 game happening, 2 of the Europa League heavyweights, Liverpool versus West Ham. I feel like this game has a bit more context to it this time than it usually does because our fellow podcaster or presenter slash footballer
Jamaican brother
he's been talking a lot. He believes West Ham are going to get the victory away at Anfield. He believes West Ham are going to finish ahead of Liverpool this season. West Ham did have a good season last year. They've improved this year, so you can see why he's confident. Liverpool, the way they've been starting games, not great, winning them in the end, but you could see why, I guess, if you want to gas yourself up, perhaps this is the way to go.
I feel like he's getting way ahead of himself. As much as you can be confident, he's just taking the.
You don't need to do your.
He's taking the Draymond Green route. In the NBA, you don't need to come on podcast and start trash talking. That's not how.
And he's been doing
works.
it quite. I told you
that's not how
because he was been doing it quite a bit with Richarlison and that time. Then he's been supporting. Then with the same side of his mouth, he's now supporting Maguire and saying that we're too hard on Maguire.
It's not a route I think he should be taking. I think he's just going ahead of himself.
So we'll see how that ends up for him.
We'll see how that ends up for him. But do not forget, at the start of this season, I predicted that Liverpool will not finish in the top 4.
Yeah, better stop that.
predicted
Yeah,
that. I mean, if
it's
he
not too
comes
late.
back, and Liverpool does win it, it's fine. Like I'm not going to tear my shirt over that. But I'm thinking
But I
there's
just want to
something.
say, Tella, it's okay for you to, it's okay to change your mind at some point. You don't
There's
have to
no
die on
changing
that
your
hill,
mind.
though.
If it does happen, like if I see at the in the middle of the season, I've said what I've said. Yeah. If it does happen to not be the case, I mean that's fine at the end of the day. But I'm thinking
But do you
there's
still think, given, before we wrap up, given what's changed in season, what we've seen first 5 games, looking at what's happened at Manchester United, the players that are out of the lineup now, some of the injuries, do you still believe Manchester United are going to finish above Liverpool?
I think so. I still think so because these are players that are now starting to come back into
Was
the
a quick
fray.
fire question. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
sounds
so-
good. We'll keep you posted on that. You know, that's
def.
what we're going to be discussing that through the
But
season.
quickly,
Both of us are here.
Liverpool West Ham prediction.
Liverpool, West Ham, Liverpool, Anfield. I think Liverpool will win. I think even though we started games off slowly, what I knew coming into the season is being proven right that Liverpool attack is just so stacked. Like we have like 5 players who could all start. You can rotate them in and out without really seeing a drop off. So being able to bring that off the bench, we've already seen it pay off with 10 men against Newcastle, bringing on Jota and Nunes who just changed the game. So yeah, I think that attack is just going to win Liverpool so many games.
I think David Moyes is back in his Everton 2000 and what year was that? 2012 era.
But you know Everton are our boys now. When it was there,
I'm saying like David Moyes is back in that bag and
he could cause an upset.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Don't put your money on West Ham, Sha. It could happen, but I didn't tell you to do
Don't
that.
back it too much.
Thanks for joining us once again. It's always a pleasure.
Most def.
And we'll see you after the weekend.
Yep. Peace.